Will the Golden Knights be able to slow down the red-hot Toronto Maple Leafs dealing with a ton of injuries right now? We'll find out on this show in just a few moments. Myself, Andrew McGinnis, Don Buster, and of course, Carmine Bianco with me just like he is every single weekday here on Puck Time. Prop segments, best bets, promotional stuff, and much, much more here on WagerTalk TV. Carmine, good morning to you, my friend. Congratulations on a big, big, big 5% winner last night. I was rooting for you. Had the game on my TV, and I had no bets, no interest, just rooting you on, my friend. So how are you, and what games did you choose for us today?
Thanks to everyone who joined us on $5 Customer Appreciation Day. So that's four Tuesdays in a row that an NHL 5% customer plays hit for me. So I'm pretty happy about that for my clients and myself. We're going to cover Carolina, Philadelphia, Vegas, in Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs. You're going to do your prop segment with some more winners for us. And then we're going to finish it off with the Nashville Predators in Seattle as the Kraken finish a 6-game homestand, looking to close it out with a win. And then our best bets, we're going to cover a slew of games today. So, guys, buckle down, get your pens and pencils ready. We got a lot to go on. And of course, joining us back from Vegas and taking a day off from his Mexican cartel, Don Buster. And we're gonna go to Buster right away. Buster, Carolina minus 235, Philadelphia plus 190 at home. Fedotov is confirmed for Philadelphia. I'm seeing it looks like it's going to be Spencer Martin in goal for Carolina. How are you breaking this one down?
Yes, thank you, Carmine. Carolina, as we all know, they just beat the Flyers November 5th, 6-4, in a game where the Hurricanes actually scored twice in the last minute to win 6-4. So Philly was right in that game right from the get-go. Now, of course, Philly has, I call instant revenge when it's like 1 week. And so it's been a little bit. So let's just say they have in-season revenge here for this. But you know what? Carolina has owned, and I mean owned, this Flyers club. Carolina has now won 9 of the last 10 games between these clubs. So I guess Carolina's the bet. But I say, not so here, because there's no way ever would I lay 230, 240 on the road. That's for sure. Or I would never lay 220, 230 at home either. Just do not lay those numbers like that. That's my opinion. What I do like here, I actually like Philadelphia. And what I'm going to do, you can get Philly on the puck line plus 1.5 at minus 130, which is a pretty good price if you ask me. Because if you go back in those 9 losses, Philly has lost 6 of those 9 by 1 goal. And I just told you what happened the last game. So right there, that was an also close game. So, and Philadelphia's been playing pretty well of late. They've won 4 of their last 6. And those 2 losses, can everybody guess? They lost by 1 goal. So we all know Carolina is just a beast. No doubt about that. But it's a long season. Always say it's a marathon, not a sprint, everybody. And yeah, like Philadelphia here, plus the 1.5 goals, minus 130. I will give you a little breakdown on the total here, like I always do. Try to, if people want to bet that. I really don't want no part of it. The 2 teams, the last 10, 4 and 6 to the under. Carolina has actually gone under 4 of their last 6 games, but Philly has gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. As I said, I will be passing the total, but give me Philadelphia plus 1.5 goals.
All right, it is early, Buster, and Andrew. It's early, but we already have our first disagreement on the show, and that's because I'm
I love it.
I'm taking the Canes on the puck line. I'm taking the plus money. They're minus 1.5, plus 110. They're 12-5 on the puck line this season. So a very profitable, almost 11 units on the puck line for Carolina this season. And while I get it, some people might look at it and go, "Well, I want no part of Spencer Martin in goal." He started twice. His first one was against Colorado. In Colorado, always the tough with a team with that much firepower. But he shut down a pretty good Ottawa team 4-0 in his last start. And we've seen from Ottawa, Ottawa can score goals when they get their game going. I like this one. You know what I mean? It's because it's Fedotov confirmed for Philadelphia. He's had 6 starts. 4 of those 6 starts, he's allowed 4 or more goals in those. If he allows 4 or more goals today, they're not covering the puck line in this one against the Carolina team. So, Andrew, I'm taking a -1.5 plus 110 with the Carolina Hurricanes in this one, and we'll go to you for a tie-breaking vote or something completely different.
Carm, I promise you, I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm not doing this just for the sake of doing it here. I never ever bet +1.5, Buster, and I'm on that exact same one today. Goal differential -1 for the Flyers over the last 4 games. On a season as a whole, it's like -17. They've been playing better lately, and some of the games they're losing, as Buster alluded to, have been super tight. But Carm's done a good job of telling us all season long how just abysmal this Flyers goaltending has really been. I mean, it's been bad. It has been bad. It has been inconsistent. And I'll tell you what, guys, it's hard to find letdown spots for the Carolina Hurricanes. It really is. It's hard to find. You take a look at their win against the Blues, dominant. Win against the Senators Saturday night, dominant. They lose that game against Utah, but it was a bad scheduling spot for them. They beat They beat the Golden Knights before that. They're a team that it's very, very seldom we see them have flat spots, letdown spots, some of these typical situational handicapping spots. However, I do think this one will be tight. When I was doing my research this morning, I also found something that was pretty interesting, guys. Carm, a lot of times last year, I think it was the Islanders. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. There was a team that you were talking about in the first period that was either doing well or it was the Devils doing well or struggling. Well, listen to this. This one's pretty interesting. The Philadelphia Flyers have a league worst differential in goals in the second period. So, I mean, I think that this game stays tight, especially early on. So I'm going to take a half bet +1.5, but I'm also going to sprinkle on the +0.5 goal in the first period. And I understand that gets you a little bit chalky. You go from the +1.5 at -115, the first period +0.5 goal. That's upwards of like -155. And we're not trying to come out here and give out the craziest chalky plays. And I don't like to turn a big dog into a big favorite by any means. But when I see the numbers like that, talking about how much different a team has been in the first period as an underdog versus the second period, it kind of tells me they're just staying alive. They're just scraping by. And Carm, how often do we talk about second period bets? Third period bets. People talk about betting first period bets all the time. But did you guys know that pre-game you can actually bet a second period money line or spread, even when the game hasn't already gone on? I remember during the COVID bubble, I was betting the third period over 1.5 goals before the game even started. But Carm, so that's one of the reasons why I'm going to split my bet up and take the first period as well as the full game here. Because if my numbers are correct and some of the stuff I read is correct, your Hurricanes puck line, if you're going to have success, it might be in that second period. So kind of interesting stuff there. The league worst team in the second period, the Flyers.
And Andrew, when you look at sort of like the numbers throughout, and and I mentioned the Carolina Hurricanes are 12-5 to the point spread, the -1.5, up 10.3 units or 54.93 ROI on your money. The Philadelphia Flyers on the puck line are 9-10, -5.45 units on the season, -18.89 ROI on that one. Um, People will talk about, the Flyers have lost puck lines because they allow goals late in the game or empty net goals. Well, this is the difference between winning teams and losing teams. Losing teams have a lead, or sorry, winning teams have, and good winning teams have leads in the third period that forces their their opponents to pull their goalie, and those are how puck lines will cash at times. If you believe if you believe the Flyers can win this game, if you believe the Flyers can get this game to overtime, then by all means, you take the puck line and you take the +1.5. But if you don't think they're going to win the game, or you don't think they're going to get it to OT, but you're hoping that they only lose by 1 goal, then you're also hoping that they're not going to allow an empty net goal at the end. That's
Right.
a lot of hope for a team with a negative number if you've been betting on them through the first 19 games of the season. So that's my point of it's not just taking a team and looking, okay, well, this team is -250. I'm not going to lay this number. Let me take the puck line with them. Look at the numbers. There are plenty of stat sites. This one comes from EV Analytics, where you can look at spreads from teams. You can look at first period spreads from teams. You can look at money lines. You can look at totals, first period, home and away, full game, home and away, and at least gives you an idea of whether you're on the right path to cashing a wager. So that's my point
Yeah.
as far as
Real
taking
quick, Carm.
the puck line in this one, Andrew.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point you raised because it's kind of interesting. And you know that I don't bet +1.5 very often. You're talking about the fact that you want to look to see when teams win if they win by multiple goals often, right? But as Buster talked about, and when I look at it, 5 of the last 6 games, whether on the winning or losing side, this Flyers team keeping it within 1 goal. So you're exactly right with that. And puck lines can be a tricky bet because, as we know, some teams, they don't go for that empty net. Some teams, they kind of just hang around and protect their own end. But we have an example of one team right now that whenever they win by at least 2. And one team at this point right now, whenever they lose, they're losing by only 1. So one streak will be broken tonight. But to your point, puck line bettors, it's not an auto bet. Just because you like a team, it doesn't mean they're going to cover the puck line. And a good example for that, I think, is the Colorado Avalanche this year. They dealt with injuries, but they actually have had a lot of tight games, guys. So as -200 favorites, you might not expect that team to win by 1 goal, but guess what? All they see is a W. Nobody's asking them if they covered the puck line or not, right, Carm? They don't care.
They don't care. It's like NFL players where sometimes I'll see them tweet out, "Oh, sorry that you lost in fantasy or your parlay because I didn't get 3 more yards." Those players don't care whether you catch the wager or not. They care about whether their team won the game. The final thought on this, Andrew, and this is more of statistical data that I'm compiling for the second half of the season because I want a good base on it. But I am charting every team's pull rate time-wise on when they pull their goalie in games. So everything from John Cooper, Tortorella, Sheldon Keefe. I want to see when they're down in the third period. I am marking down to get an average of when they are pulling their goalie down 1, down 2, down 3. The best over the last couple of years, the best one for that is John Cooper. He pulls his goalie with 7 minutes left when they're down 3 goals. I absolutely love the guy. And then there's some coaches who down 2 goals will still only pull their goalie with like 90 seconds left. They're not giving themselves a chance to win. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter if you lose by 2 or you lose by 3. Pull the goalie with 2.5 or 3 minutes left. If you're down by a couple of goals, give your team a legitimate chance as if they were on the power play and they had a full 2 minutes plus to get one and then get another one. But I'm compiling that data and I'm going to use it in the second half of the season for my clients, and we'll share some of it here on PuckTime. But we got another game to go to, Andrew, so cue it up.
Yeah, Carmen, just like the team totals, we need those empty net goals sometimes. All right, here's a big one, guys, and this is 2 teams in separate conferences, but it's always a good one when these teams go head-to-head. We have the Maple Leafs hosting the Vegas Golden Knights as short favorites here, -130. The other side, short dog on the Golden Knights, and of course the total being at 6, which is the number we've been seeing lately for this Maple Leafs team with a lot lower scoring games. A lot of injuries, Buster, for this team here. And I think it's going to start to add up. We saw Max Domi now go on the injury reserve this morning for the Maple Leafs. We've seen, of course, Austin Matthews be out for a handful of games now. It was rumored that he was in Germany. Not actually rumored, it was a fact. He was in Germany. And I'll tell you what, I don't think they're sending him to Germany for a minor injury. All right. You guys are in Ontario. I know there's long waits at hospitals, but guess what? He's an NHL player. Okay. If he wants to see a specialist in Ontario, he can see one. I don't think he's flying to Germany because it's a minor problem. Something's going on with that team. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. But overall, I look at this spot. I think it's a hungrier spot for the Vegas Golden Knights. I like them in the plus 110. I think right now you got a perfect fat and sassy spot here for the Maple Leafs, playing good hockey right now, having success, cruising through their division as what it seems like them and the Panthers are just sitting up there at the top. I like the underdog tonight on the road, Buster. Sometimes when a player gets injured, the team rallies around them, but then at certain points, it just becomes a little bit too much. And I know this is kind of a hot take, but I think this bottom 6 the Maple Leafs have is actually one of the worst in the Austin Matthews era. I do not believe in the bottom 6. I don't believe in the depth of the Maple Leafs. If you look at when they've had success this season, coming back in games, crawling back, or even when they have good games, it still means that Marner scored, Tavares scored, Nylander scored. I'm still a little bit worried about the depth of that team, which is why I'm taking the plus 110 underdog. I hope we're on the same page, Buster, but what are you thinking in this one?
Well, Andrew, I really don't have the side here because, as you said, Toronto has won 5 of their last 6 games. And Vegas, these teams actually kind of trending the other opposite directions. Vegas has only won 2 of their last 5. So after that fast start, again, to me, the price is right. There, maybe it could be a little bit lower. I agree with you. If I was going to take the side, I would definitely be probably on Vegas here. And the reason is Vegas has won 3 of the last 4 games between these clubs. But the real biggest reason why I would like Vegas in this spot, this is going to be their first road game of a 5-game road trip. I always like betting that first road game with good teams. I just don't really like what I've seen from Vegas. And as you say, with Toronto, with all the injuries, but they have been playing good hockey. So when I see those 2 things, and, again, good luck to you, Andrew, with your Vegas bet, but I'm passing on the side here. What I do like, though, I like the over 6. And I actually put it out as a best bet for my clients. 4 last 5 games have gone over between the clubs, including last year. It went way over 6-2 and 7-3. I know there's injuries for Toronto, but again, they can score. They're at home, and they seem to be a little bit better at home putting the puck in the net. Again, Vegas, I have said on this show, probably from the second week on, they are a dead over club. That's just the way it is. And why is that? Because they have lots of guys that can score, and they have suspect goaltending, and they have one of the best power plays in the NHL. So to me, that says a lot about a Vegas club. As far as the Leafs and their totals, there's no doubt they are more of an under club. They've played unders at home, but in this stretch of the 6 games where they won 5 of those 6, 4 of those games they've scored 4 goals. I think they can get maybe 3 or 4 again tonight. I like this game being, maybe a 5-4, 4-3 type game. And I always say this too, is that you can get to 6. And you guys were just talking about it with empty nets, and Carmine's talking about how he's going to check all that out and when coaches are going to do that. So that'll be good to see the results, what he has going there. But in this day and age of the NHL, I've said all the time, 3-1s get to 4-2 in a heartbeat. So you can get to over that. You can get to 6 easy. 6 gives us a push. I don't think we have to worry about that tonight. I like the over 6 in this one, guys.
Carm, what do you think? Side or total for you, man?
I'm not going to touch the total. There's some data that will tell you to take the under in the first period of this game, the under 1.5. I'm not entirely sure I want to be on that. Aiden Hills, he's projected to be the goalie tonight, but it's not confirmed as of yet on any of the couple sites, but it should be shortly because they do have their morning skate right about now. in Toronto, if not just finishing their morning skate. And Joseph Wall is confirmed. I'm seeing for Toronto. He's 5-1. His best record against the Pacific, or sorry, against all divisions is the Pacific. He's 5-1 against Pacific teams. It's the fact that Toronto. I'm leaning Toronto mainly because of the fact that it's extreme buy low price on the Leafs at -130 at home, where for a team that has the best home record right now in the Eastern Conference, they're doing what they did 2 and 3 years back, which is protecting home ice, making it tough for teams coming in. I get it. It's tough with the fact that Austin Matthews is out, and they're saying it's not a wrist injury, which was his problem, obviously last season. But it's an upper body injury, so we don't know what it is. I'm sure more info will come out at some point. But the Leafs are still 5-1 without him in the lineup. And you look at it hasn't been the easiest of schedules either for them. They beat the Edmonton Oilers. The one loss came against the Ottawa Senators, but they did beat the Washington Capitals, who are playing extremely good hockey at the moment. They completely shut down the Detroit Red Wings, and then prior to that, they beat Tampa Bay. So they're playing some very good teams as well too. You guys noticed I omitted the Montreal Canadiens. I didn't want to poke fun at either one of you two guys on that one, but with that said, they're winning games. The other guys are playing. Tavares is playing well. Nylander has his spurts, but is probably one of the best players on that team. I'm not really sure what to think of Mitch Marner, to be honest with you. This is a contract year for the guy, and I don't think he's done enough that they're in a rush to sign him. They'll get him signed at some point because he doesn't want to leave Toronto. But the rest of the team are playing well. I'll be honest with you, Andrew, I'd rather see Stolarz in goal. Having watched him live against Detroit, the man just looks like a beast in goal. Joseph Wall is supposed to be their number one moving forward, but we'll see. It's a big start for him tonight as well, too. I'm going to take the Leafs. It's a buy low price on them, -130. I understand Buster's point of teams with 4 or 5 game road trips. You always want to get off to a good start. It doesn't always happen. But it's also a very good Vegas Golden Knights team as well, too. We'll see what happens here tonight. But the price is where it should be, and I like the price, so I'm going to take the Leafs.
No arguing. No arguing. It's all good. We'll be on different sides tonight, and I just think it's just getting a little bit too much with some of these injuries. But you're right, Carm. The home ice is important for them. It's worked well for them. And, some teams, we have to make note in our head that they do protect home ice very well. When you're going to tell me Pontus Holmberg is your second line center, then I'll tell you I'm not feeling too good about that game. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a big test for them. And again, if you're going
to victory tonight,
hey, if you're a good team,
oh God,
you got to be able to play well with your big players. You got to you're the king of the dad jokes, Carm. Let's jump to the prop playbook segment. That promo code is still alive, guys. We've been doing all kinds of different ones, whether it's been a 1 month, whether it's been a full season, whether it's been 7 days. So this is an all sports 7-day deal. Week 6-9, get 7 days for $69. NFL, NBA, NHL especially. Again, this price here will cover 2 5% plays alone, right? One singular play, 3%, 4% goes for $25. Get a week all sports for $69. Week 6-9 is the promo code. All right, guys, 2 player props for today, and they're both in the exact same game. Let's start things off with the first one. The veteran, Jamie Benn, a leader on this Dallas team. And I'm just shocked, guys. Look, they have a ton of depth. So their player props are actually really good prices for all their players because they're so separated, because there's so much different scoring going on this team. But his number is -135. He has a point in 3 of his last 4 games. He has a point in 6 of his last 7 games against San Jose. 5 straight home games. Oh, yeah, and let's not forget, this San Jose team ranks 31st in the league in points given up against left wingers. I'm going to take Jamie Benn, the veteran, to get a point tonight for the Dallas Stars. All right, we're going to go from a veteran to a rookie. Let's go with Macklin Celebrini over 2.5 shots on goal. Celebrini has done really well, and he's only played 8 games in his career so far. The guy's got 5 goals. The guy's playing extremely well, and he's gone over this 2.5 shot number in 4 straight games. When you play on the San Jose Sharks and you're a rookie and you're a first overall pick, well, you're going to have all the comfort in the world to shoot the puck. You're going to be given all the confidence. He's given every opportunity. If he played on a good team, would he be on the top line? Would he be on the second line? I'm not so sure. But playing on the San Jose Sharks, he's given all the opportunities possible, and he's taken full advantage of all of them. So today, guys, we have both player props in the exact same game. Macklin Celebrini, the rookie, over on shots, and the vet with Jamie Benn to record a point tonight at -135. Back to you, Carm.
I like that, Andrew, because my best bet is going to be in that game, or show free play, whatever you guys want to call it, in that game. But we still have one game to discuss before that. But guys, yesterday was $5 Customer Appreciation Day at WagerTalk. Today, being Wednesday, is Fill Your Cart. 20% off all daily packages and all access packages over at WagerTalk. As many cappers and as many daily packages or all access packages that you want, fill your cart and you get 20% off of that as well too. So take advantage of that great deal. And of course, I'm not going to do as the Prez normally does, but guys, hit that like button. If you like this content, show your appreciation. It takes a second out of your time to hit that like button. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, please do so. 185,000 subscribers and growing each and every day. Live shows, ton of actionable info, and a lot of free plays that get posted on this site. So hit the subscribe button and join the community. We really appreciate it. Nashville, -130. The Seattle Kraken, +110. Right now, looking like Saros and Decord in goal buster. Where are you going on this one? Last game of a 6-game homestand for the Seattle Kraken. They won the first 4, dropped the last one to the Rangers. A respectable loss, if you can call it that, 2-0 at home. Do they end it with a win or a 2-game losing streak as they hit the road?
Well, Carmine, of all the games that you've picked for tonight, to me, this is the toughest handicap on the side, and maybe even the total. I do lean with the Predators on here, but I don't like the 130. That's the problem. I'm not going with that 130. I actually been waiting, and I'm pretty sure I heard you talk about, you or maybe Andrew, or maybe both of you, talk about this Nashville club, that just to try and start to get it together, really. And it looks like they're starting to do that. And I say this after they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. But all those 3 losses, they could have won those games. I mean, a couple of them were in overtimes with their coin flips. And yeah, they've been just looking a lot better. And they do have in-season revenge for that 7-3 beatdown that Seattle gave them in Nashville on October 15th. So a little revenge there for Nashville. And that last game for Nashville, they were down 2-1 to Vancouver halfway through the game. They had a nice little comeback to win that one. So I think that does help them here. But there might be a little bit too much on the Seattle side that kind of, counterattacks this one here, which Seattle are, like you mentioned, Carmine, 5-1 their last 6, and they lost that close game to the Rangers 2-0. But there it is. It's the 2-0. I do not like going against teams that have been shut out that are decent clubs. After that shutout, they usually play a little bit better. They usually try to put some goals in, but Seattle doesn't score a lot anyways. But for me, because of all those reasons, I just can't take the side here, although I do lean Nashville. If it ever came down to 110 as a pick or something, I might change my mind and take Nashville. As for the total, I do like under 6 too. This under is 10-4, the last 14 home games in Seattle. Nashville have gone under in 6 of their last 8 games. Problem for me is I can remember that 7-3 beatdown in that game between these two clubs this season. And Nashville is a totally different club this season. All 3 games last year, they went under. So to me, tough handicap on this game. Gave you a little info there. I do lean Nashville and the under.
Buster, you made some good points, and I like it's not rapid revenge, but it is revenge. That 7-3 loss at home for Nashville, and that was, near the beginning of the season, the first week of the season, I think October 15th, where they were playing terrible. I think they lost their first 4 or 5 games out of the gate, or weren't playing well at all. But when I look at this one, I look at, if you tell the Nashville Predators before they started this 4-game road trip, hey, would you guys take a 2-1-1 road trip where you pick up 5 of a possible 8 points? They would say, we'd love so. We'd love to do it. And that's the position they're in. If they get a win tonight, they pick up 5 of 8 possible points. And that game against Vancouver was a good game. We saw last night, Vancouver played a very good game against the New York Rangers. Unfortunately, they came out on the wrong end of it. But that one could have gone either way in the third period. Vancouver were full marks in that game despite the loss. And there's an uptick for that team coming. I think Nashville is starting to turn the corner. The one play I want to have on this game is, I'm looking at the first period, and I'm looking at the first period money line in this one, is because Seattle have been slow starters all season long. They have played 19 games thus far and only had the lead in 3 of them after 20 minutes. They've been tied 4 times after 20 minutes. They've trailed in 12 of 19 games after 20 minutes. Nashville Predators -130 first period money line for me, Andrew.
First period. Carm, you got a date tonight or something? You're trying to get out of the game early? You don't want to bet the full game?
Oh,
You're just trying to get the job
Andrew,
done early on?
Andrew, you and Prez know, and if the people haven't noticed on this show, the last few days, I look a little tired. I'm going through an extreme bout of insomnia since Saturday. I've slept possibly 10 hours in total. I just can't fall asleep. I've tried pretty much everything, can't sleep. So I've just been crushing numbers in NHL and football just to get stuff ready. But bad case of insomnia. And so maybe tonight I can watch the first period of the game, cash a ticket, and then go to sleep. So we'll see what happens.
I hope it happens, man. You got to get your rest, and you'll rest easy after cashing a ticket early on here. I think one team's getting to 4 tonight here, guys, and I love the price on the team that I think is getting 4, and that's Nashville at +140. So forget the money line. Give me the team total in this one. I think that we see 5.5 is the consensus total, shaded towards the over, of course, in this one. And I think we see somewhere along the lines of a 4-2, 4-1 victory here for this Nashville team. I love what Buster said. It was the best. Like, this team's been playing pretty well despite not winning much lately. And it's so true, because you can see a team starting to turn the tide a little bit. You saw it in their game against Vancouver. You've seen it in some of the games that they've played, where even though the results might not be there, it's just different. And I know this team that I'm going to say isn't on the show today. We'll talk about them in the future, I'm sure. The Boston Bruins, right? Jim Montgomery didn't get fired because of the record for them this year. I think Jim Montgomery got fired because of how they've lost this year, right? Getting their ass kicked against Columbus, losing to bad teams, losing by multiple goals. Nashville, in some of the games recently that they've even struggled in, they've been tight. They've been respectable. And this Seattle team, one thing with them is that their goal production, their expected goal numbers, a lot of their analytical numbers have really slowed down. And the biggest key, why was everybody hyping up the Nashville Predators so much coming into this season? Well, Steven Stamkos, for the first time, was playing for a different team, moving from Tampa Bay to Nashville. He felt disrespected. They didn't want to pay him what he deserved. He was there his whole career. Jonathan Marchessault, he felt disrespected in Vegas. They kick him to the curb, wins a Stanley Cup. They're done with him. They're on to other things. Those guys finally are starting to gel. They're finally getting chemistry. Who said it was going to be easy? Who said they were going to be able to gel and gain chemistry and start scoring goals with new teams right away? We're talking on November 20th here, guys, and Stamkos is finally scoring goals. Marchessault is finally playing well. I think this is a good spot for Nashville. I believe the team that wins this game will get to 4 goals. And if that's the case, Nashville plus 140 team total, up and over 3.5 goals. I like this one quite a bit. So, Carm, hopefully we get, 4-0 after 1. How about that? That works for me. And then you can turn the game off, and I can enjoy the rest of my night as well. So let's go around the horn with best bets. We'll start with Buster, and then Carm can go right after Buster. Buster, what do you have going these days at WagerTalk.com?
Well, thank you, Andrew. We have our 5% max bet in college football loaded for the weekend. We're 3-1 on the season, 5% college football. But we are also #1 lifetime on the site in college football 5% releases in profit. So head on over to WagerTalk.com and check that out and grab that play. And you can do so today, as Carmine mentioned, at 20% off the price because of the Fill Up Your Cart Wednesdays promo. So head on over the site, check that out. Our show play for today, we will go back to that Carolina-Philadelphia game. And we have a prop play. We're going with Jordan Martinook over 1.5 shots on goal. It's minus 148, but I mean, it should probably be 2-1. Jordan has went over this number in 7 straight games. When he goes up against the Flyers, he has hit this number in 9 of the last 10 games. Including that game on November 5th, he had 5 shots on goal. Not sure, the odds makers are probably missing this. He should be at 2.5 shots on goal. We take advantage and we play Jordan Martinook over 1.5 shots on goal. As always, I want to thank you and Carmine, Andrew, for having me on Wednesdays or once a week. I appreciate it very much. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Everyone in the chat, everyone that's going to watch this, best of luck on all your plays, no matter what sport you're playing, but we like you playing the best game on the planet, and that's NHL. And as always, have a great day.
You too, Buster. Good luck, man.
Longest. It's the longest goodbye ever. Buster will be here next week. It's not his final farewell, but we always enjoy having him on. He was in Vegas recently, and Brian Leonard, tomorrow's guest, said he couldn't wait for Buster to leave and almost took him to the airport himself. All right, guys, for my show for Best Bet, first of all, I got 3 plays up in the NHL tonight. Only 1 play from yesterday, of course, and that was a winner with our 5% play. So we're going to look to keep a good and hot November going. 3 plays up. This is one of the plays. This is only a 2% play. The other ones are higher rated plays on my card tonight. But I'm going to go to the Dallas game, the Dallas and the Sharks game. It's a weird scheduling spot for the Sharks. The Sharks just played 4 games on the East Coast, flew back home, played 1 home game, and now fly to Dallas to take on the Stars, who come off a loss to the Anaheim Ducks last time out. 6 games in 11 days with travel for the San Jose Sharks. I'm going to look at maybe there's some weary legs in that first period. I'm going to take Dallas in the first period, -0.5, even money. So even money on this bet to have the lead after 1 period against the San Jose Sharks and get the win here. That's your show free play. An interesting note from Andrew. It's from Ralph Michaels, our stat daddy. When you look at odds of tonight's game, the Dallas Stars are big favorites, -450 we're seeing. Since 2021, favorites of -400 or higher are 106 and 25, 81%, with an average line of -458. But they are -8.4 units. So you can't just blindly bet teams that are -450. They're also 81 and 50 on the puck line, and basically down 1 unit as well too. So big favorites do win, but what you have to overcome when they lose is a lot. And much like the Anaheim game the other night, where the Ducks were plus 350, 360. Don't auto bet teams just because they're minus 400. I'm looking at it a different way. Bad scheduling spot for this Sharks team. A lot of travel, 6 games in 11 nights, and the Dallas Stars coming off a home loss, and it'll be Ottinger in goal tonight. He did not start in that loss to the Ducks. So first period for me, Andrew. What do you got up?
These first periods, Carm. All right. I like it. And I like that play. It's a good spot. And man, that team's been playing extremely well. And again, I've got 2 player props in that game in the prop segment. I want to just promote that great deal, the week 6-9 promo code. I kind of, I mentioned my daily picks and my packages I have up. I do have an NHL team total tonight. But that promo code week 6-9, you're going to get all sports, NBA, NHL, everything that we release in that package, guys. If you don't want to dip your toes for a month or for, 90 days or for a year, of course, you have that fill your card special. Promo code thanks20, get you 20% off these packages. But short term, that week 6-9 promo code is a great one. So use that, guys, at my profile page, wt.buzz/AM. But we are going underdog hunting tonight, and I'm taking the Vegas Golden Knights. Big road trip. Across the I was going to say across the country, but not even the same country, different country in Canada, taking on the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs without Matthews, without Domi, missing a ton of players, and guys have to step up and play different roles. I don't think it works out well for them. This is a letdown spot for the Leafs. We'll take the Golden Knights at plus 110 on the money line. Great show today. All kinds of picks, props, and all kinds of good stuff. Make sure you guys don't forget about that promo code thanks20. Save 20% off long-term packages. Great to see Buster as always. Always good stuff from Carmine. And thank you all for being here with us. Hit the like button on the way out. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for now, we'll see you next time right here on PuckTime.